Seems a little risky, but okay.
Tacos don't smell like that.
What kind of nipples are we talking about?
I'm uncomfortable.
I say we use that for the intro sometime.
Yeah.
Wait, yeah, not this one, but we'll figure it out.
Thanks
No,
for that
not this
musical
one,
interlude.
but eventually, yeah.
And when one of you all does the woo,
Yes, thank you for that musical interlude, Sean. That was great. Welcome back to All Over the Place with Corey and Sean. Today, I believe the topic for all of us to discuss will be cults, because apparently cults are in the fucking news, not really for anything recent, just everybody wants to make Waco documentaries.
Cults make the best documentaries.
They
it's
really do.
Really interesting stuff.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the fuck is wrong with it? How do you fall for that?
Yeah. I mean, I was looking online at trying to find a pair of Heaven's Gate Nikes, which surprisingly are cheaper than what I thought they would be. And I kept, I Googled it, so I kept looking at pictures, and I was looking at the fucking Marshall Applewhite, and I was like, how in the motherfuck could anybody follow this guy?
The one guy has like the Macabre Museum or whatever that's got like, this is a blanket they were covered with, and this are their personal effects. I bet you could get a pair of those Nikes from him. He's probably got some straight off the corpse's feet.
You can get it. Well, that's if you want an actual
he
pair.
might have some on the
Imagine
corpse's
what
feet.
those got to smell like.
Yeah, dead. I was actually looking at they're only like $80, or if you go on Amazon, they're only $40, and you get a pair brand new that didn't have a corpse rotting in them.
Who wants that?
Yeah, I know. Well, what if I want to wear them? I want to pay tribute to the brain dead masses that.
You can't judge a cult member until you walk a mile in his shoes.
You know what? You're right. Now
Doesn't matter if it was burned down or not.
Well, no, we're talking about Heaven's Gate right now. They all just died in bed.
Yeah, they all poisoned themselves and laid down and went to sleep.
Yeah.
They were polite enough to cover their faces when they laid down too.
Not only that, those fuckers were. You would probably fit in well, because it seems like they were a nerd-based cult, in that they made a lot of money doing shit on the internet in its like early days.
That's why they get these big, fancy mansions and shit to live in. There'd be 30 of them living in the mansion, but none of them had jobs.
No, they all got on the internet. It's like, let's peck on some computers and figure out what deity we're going to follow onto the Hale-Bopp comet.
I hear that their website is still up and maintained.
By who?
By the deity of the Hale-Bopp comet.
By some of the followers that weren't dedicated enough to die with them, but now they want to pretend like they're dedicated.
Well, that's it. I don't want to fucking read about the Heaven's Gate cult with a bunch of people that half-assed it from the get-go. I bet they didn't even castrate themselves.
No, only a few of them did that, and then when the first one to botch it, the rest of the guys were like, maybe we should rethink this
Like,
part.
you know what? Yeah, let's just leave our balls where they are. Yeah, well, you know what? They died in a fucking mansion, and then you got the Waco, which is all the craze now, because I guess it's 30 years ago. They died in that fucking, large building that they constructed with no running water. I think they had electric, but that's about it. But
Yeah, because they had to get Koresh's guitars and let his band play.
yeah. I mean, that's my whole problem with the Waco as a whole, and actually cult leaders. For the most part, they're such fucking douchebags, and they sling such bullshit. How could anybody possibly take this seriously? It's like Koresh, to his flock, we'll say, he says he's the Messiah. It's like, no, you're a dorky little fucking white guy who can't read, unless you're reading
He
the
also
Bible.
says, by the way, everybody, you're not married to your wives anymore. I'm married to your wives now, so I'm going to be fucking them. You're not allowed to.
He's the only male that was allowed to have sex with any female, and that includes 10-year-old girls. Yeah, that's who I want to follow into eternity. Yeah. I mean, like as a whole, I think cult leaders are nuts, because I mean, just look at their fucking hairstyle choices. David Koresh, he looked like a fucking garage band bass player from 1987.
He probably was.
Yeah, I have no doubt he was a rocker through and through. Jim Jones, he looked like he had a bad Elvis wig, and the like what drove me nuts about him was he was a cult leader, but he had a serious lisp. It's like, how can you follow somebody that's talking about the resurrection? Follow me into the promised land.
He was actually like his big preaching thing was desegregation.
Yeah.
And the races living together in harmony. That's a good message to get started with for people to be like, I like what he's saying.
Then we're gonna drink
What?
some cyanide and some Kool-Aid.
Move to South America with no communication to the outside world, not whatsoever.
Yeah,
I like the first thing he said. Now, let's hear him out on this one.
like that's it. He mixed religion and socialism. Actually, I think in the beginning it was more towards socialism than it was actually religion based, wasn't it?
No, I think it was the other way around. I think it started out the religious and then it got more and
he
more
started out as a
socialistic.
traditional religious guy, and then he just figured out that socialism was a really good tie-in to all of his sermons.
Well, he probably also figured out, like, if I get all these people down to my own little plantation or whatever in South America, how am I going to feed them all? We're not going to have jobs. Let's socialism it. Let's have everybody farm and feed and
Except for these guys, they're going to carry the heavy machine guns and shoot down congressmen.
yeah. I hope you like it here because we're going to kill you.
Well, hold on.
Actually,
He
we're not
shot-
going to kill you. You're going to kill yourself.
Or we're going to kill
He
you.
shot at congressmen?
He killed it, yeah.
Yeah, because he was going...
Are we sure he was like as bad as?
He didn't kill the congressman.
I see where you're going with that.
Oh, this
guy.
anti-government son of a bitch. Damn anarchist Sean. Yeah, okay, so maybe he wasn't all bad. But I mean, I've listened to the videos of the mass suicide where they're giving the kids, if they didn't drink the Kool-Aid, they were giving it to them in syringes, and then the mothers didn't want to do that. And some of them were like, well, I mean, if we're preaching socialism and communism, why don't we just go to Russia? And this Jim Jones was like, listen here, mothers, we're not going to do that. We have to go to the afterlife together.
I do not get to be in control in Russia.
Like, no, they would look at me and shoot me on sight. So he had his buddy shoot him anyway. It's like that's another thing that pisses me off about the cult leaders is that when it comes to the mass suicides, they always take the pussy way out. And like Jim Jones, instead of drinking the cyanide with the rest of his people, which is, from what I understand, an excruciating death, he's like, somebody shoot me in the head right now. And he did. Same with Koresh. It's like he didn't want to burn with his people, so he had his buddy shoot him in the head. It's like, come on.
That's why my favorite cult leader, which is Father Yod, of I can't remember what the cult was called, but his cult basically was like the normal cult stuff of, hey man, give me all your money, we're gonna go live in a commune, and I'm gonna fuck all your wives.
Yeah.
But then they were like, you know what, California, it's not super great. People pooping in the streets.
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Exactly. I actually think the Red Hot Chili Peppers might have been part of that story, actually.
If it involved California, because that's
Probably.
Californication.
kind of their thing.
But he was eventually like, yo, instead of staying in California and probably getting murdered, why don't we just go to Hawaii? And so the cult just went to Hawaii, and he ended up dying accidentally on a paragliding trip.
Was that the guy that was like the gay porn star? 'Cause I heard something about something. There was a guy. He was like a bit actor or something, and wasn't a very good actor. So he started doing porn, and he went around in like a Speedo and eyeliner all the time.
I don't think so, because one of the things that he was for is that he liked to play basketball, but then he would also sleep with everybody's wives, and he'd be like, hey, yo, let's go out for some 3v3, we'll go balling.
A basketball and orgy-based cult? What could
Kinda.
go wrong? Wonder what his demographic was that he was targeting. Same as Jim Jones. Unity. All that. Fighting the white
To be
man.
fair, that joke may have just been that might have just been a joke from a podcast I listened to about that. So
What?
Don't quote me on not the ballin' thing that was, but the whole 3v3 stuff like that.
I'll be honest, you probably could have made that one up because
Yeah, it's not like we're going to pay attention.
I don't want to
I'm
be
not
accused
familiar with that
I don't want to be
particular cult.
sued by some comedian for stealing his joke. So
Well, yeah, we don't want to get accused of joke stealing this early.
That's all right. Nobody's going to hear it.
We got 33 people on the Facebook. We're good. Yeah, I don't know. Just cults as a whole is something that's always just boggled my mind because how can anybody be that fucking dumb?
well, here's the thing: is that a lot of your cults, you'll have that they'll be like, the end is nigh. We need to drink the Kool-Aid and stuff like that. But then you have that one cult in Japan that was like the world is going to end by this year, and people ask them, how are you going, it's like there's going to be a nuclear war, and they're like, how do you know it's going to be this year? And they're like, we're going to make sure it's that year.
Oh!
It was that same cult that filled they put all of that, I think, cyanide on the trains. It was that cult.
Uh-huh. So,
In like in the early 90s. But yeah, they were like, no. We said this. We ain't going to be liars. We're going to make sure it happens.
The Manson family did the same thing because they were like, there's going to be a great race war that's going to end the world. Why ain't this shit happen? I don't know. Go kill some white people, blame it on black people.
yeah, and they based it all on a Beatles song. It's like, that was amazing to me. It's like, nobody nowadays associates the Beatles with Helter Skelter. They only associate Charlie Manson, but it's like, he stole it from them. It's like, they're the ones.
Plagiarizer.
Yeah.
They didn't have the balls to follow through.
Like, my God, every time I fucking see anything about Charlie Manson, it just is like, how could anybody follow this fucking nutcase? But then,
Isn't that most cults, though?
It absolutely is,
yeah.
but in him, it's like he didn't even try and sound smart. He just tried to sound fucking Looney Tunes, and it's like, my God.
Well, it was the 60s and he pumped his fucking cult so full of drugs. I heard that he wasn't actually he would like pretend to do all the drugs.
Yeah.
And he would kind of
And
guide
just
them.
lead them
while
around
they're
in a
fucked
fucking
up.
dumb state. Honestly, though, I think the best joke about Charlie Manson was the woman who married him right before he died. That like 22-year-old.
He backed out of that.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, because he found out that she was just marrying him so that she would be the next of kin that has control of his corpse and was going to put his corpse in a museum.
Oh,
Charge money for people to come see him.
well, that's actually pretty cool. But I like the meme I saw that it was her with him, and it said the ultimate "fuck you, dad." Like, that's just, yes, that's the perfect fucking explanation of that marriage. Somebody's really mad at their dad. Oh, but yeah, the Manson family, like those murders is, I guess he wanted to make them as brutal as possible because only, according to him, only the black folks would be that cruel to the victims. And I guess Sharon Tate, what did the woman, stabbed her multiple times and then wrote shit all around the house in her blood.
Yeah.
It's like,
They did that to I think both of their big murders they did.
yeah, the Tate and the LaBiancas.
Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. But then, you got less hands-on cults like the Heaven's Gate, like the Waco, where we're only going to kill ourselves. Which actually, I don't think in Waco they set out to kill themselves.
I don't think in Waco they have much of a choice.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously we're not going to be able to kill all y'all, and y'all could easily kill all us. But fuck you, I'll do it myself. I'll show you.
Well, like the whole fucking thing about that is what always drove me nuts about that entire situation was how avoidable it was because I don't like the ATF or the FBI.
Who does?
But I think the responsibility for how that went down was all on fucking Koresh because it's like, I want to post this manifesto or my reading of this sermon. And they were like, okay, well, let's do that. You do that, or we'll do that, you come out. Okay, we'll do that. I agree completely. They do that. He's like, no, I don't want to no more because God told me not to.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like
God told me if I
not
come
to.
out, I'm going to jail.
Yeah. I think he figured out, it's like, ooh, I'm a little feller that can't fight off somebody trying to penetrate my butthole. So I better just stick around in here till we can light some fires and blame it on some feds. It's like that one, I blame it on him. The fucking
I
government
actually
was
saw
fucked
like
up.
the initial shootout to where like the government guys were like, we may be a little unprepared for what's actually going on down there, because it's all like the who shot first.
Yeah.
One of the movies I'd watched on it, they'd set up for the big thing, and like a dog come at one of them, and he shot the dog, and they thought it was coming from the thing.
Yeah.
So they started shooting back, so they started shooting it.
Yeah. I don't know. Like the ATF was just so they were.
That makes sense because the ATF does love to shoot dogs.
Yeah.
I can't blame them.
Well, that's it. The ATF just seemed like fucking bumbling idiots in the whole thing anyway. It's like, we need the FBI, we need Big Brother to come in and fucking get these fellers. But, I mean, it's hard to tell who shot first, but it's like, well, who shot most? Really? But this latest Netflix documentary, I don't remember what it's called, but it had the main guy who was the negotiator, and also in contrast to him, the guy who was the head of the hostage rescue group, who was also a fucking sniper, total badass, and just the different perspectives on how they were going to deal with it.
That's probably pretty accurate, because the movie that I was talking about that I saw was like a reenactment movie or whatever.
Well, this, I don't even know if it
That was a SWAT fed and a negotiator fed bickering about how they were going to handle it.
Like, that's it. You hear this negotiator, and it's like, well, I really feel for him. But me being how I am, and this is just me personally, the sniper was like, yeah, I have my fucking crosshairs right on goddamn Koresh's head. And I was like, I'd have pulled the fucking trigger. It's like, go to jail, be damned, whatever. Get a president to pardon me later.
What are you talking about? He's a federal agent. He ain't going to, even if he shot him, he ain't going to jail. They'll just make up some stuff and be like, oh,
Well,
no, yeah.
That's
I
what
don't know who shot that motherfucker.
That's what he said. Is like, he said if he'd have done it without somebody ordering him to do so, and him getting clearance from fucking top, that he would be going to jail, because until you're ordered to do so, it's murder. It's like, well, I think it'd be all right if you did that, because you shut that little redneck bastard up.
It slipped. I didn't mean to.
Oops.
I took a coughing
Yeah,
fit,
that's
and
the-
my finger hit the trigger.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like he'd go in there first and they'd be like, oh, well, we want to try him for murder. But then the government would come behind and be like, here's the official story. And here you go. I'm sure if police have a union, I'm sure that the federal
Bureau
government
does?
Their
I
union
would
is
say,
called the government.
Well, I'm sure if they had a union, there would be a movie about it, and Jack Nicholson would be the figurehead. But yeah, I mean, it's like, with that one, they sat there and fucking fought him for 51 days?
Something like that.
Something like
I mean,
that.
they didn't fight him the whole
No,
time. They,
you know
they
what
fought him the first day or so. and
Yeah,
then they-
it was a standoff for that long, where it's like, why couldn't they just be like goddamn the Heaven's Gate, where we're not going to tell nobody, and nobody's even going to know that we fucking did it until some guy walks in with a fucking camera before the news crews get wind and takes some unflattering pictures of us. It's like, I can respect that out of them, but it's like, those fuckers were so just... The documentaries on them is a lot weirder to watch and a lot less action-packed, so of course, it's like, no guns? Well, I don't know about that, but... It's like, oh, they don't have a 50 cal stationed in a tower in the middle of the complex? No.
pussies.
They're not a very American goddamn cult, if you ask me. You want a fucking cult? By God, look there down in Texas. They got guns all over the place. They shot 5 or however many ATF agents. Doesn't fucking matter. Whatever. I mean, it's 30 years ago. But then, what came of the Waco? Well, the Oklahoma City bombing. It's like that some bitch was down there selling fucking bumper stickers. It's like, who would suspect the guy parked miles away from the complex, selling fucking anti-government bumper stickers to rent a fucking Ryder truck and pack it full of fucking fertilizer and blow up a building. It's like, well, we didn't expect that he might be involved in such a plot because he was selling fucking bumper stickers. We didn't think
like,
he
does
could
he
fund such an...
Exactly. It's like he had enough money to afford to rent a truck?
He doesn't quite seem organized enough to.
Like, I'm surprised he can make enough money to buy a bag of fertilizer, let alone a lot of fertilizer to make a bomb with.
It's like
using his military pension for that.
like Ted Kaczynski, which isn't a cult, but it's like his makes sense. It's like smart guy out in the middle of the woods, and he's just like, I'm gonna just start mailing bombs to people.
Yeah, completely isolated. Yeah, I get that.
But
Maybe.
this guy, it's like he's selling anti-government bumper stickers.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem like which I guess blowing up a building isn't a smart thing to do.
These guys should have bought some bumper stickers.
Look, I didn't sell them all, so fuck the government. It's like
These are going to be going hot after I blow up this building.
boom.
Collector's item.
I could put that right next to my Heaven's Gate shoes. Like, pray for Waco. I don't know. They made it explicitly, clear that God was on their side. Especially the guy in charge kept telling him to do shit. Every time the government would walk, the negotiators would talk him into, it's like, come out and send the kids first. Well, I will. Hold on. God's messaging me again.
Hold on, just got a text.
Hold on.
Bing,
They didn't have
bing,
texting back
bing,
then. They didn't have texting
That's
back
how he
then.
knew it was from the Lord, is because it's like this text just appears on
This
my phone.
technology doesn't exist yet. That's got to be God.
Huh. Yeah. He got a cell phone back then from God, like his iPhone, and it just starts cranking some fucking random 80s tune when God calls him.
He had one of them big brick phones.
Yeah, he goes, slow ride.
That's how we got cell phones. They caught them all there and then did some reverse engineering.
Oh, that's it. They found a charged cell phone in the ruins of the Mount Carmel complex.
Yes.
They found quite a bit of charged shit there.
Yeah. Stepping over kids, and he's like, hey, what's this? It looks like a phone of some sort.
One thing with all the cults that we've talked about so far is the fact that it's like a lot of the people that get drug into there are people that are just like, they're down on their luck, or they're like, I'm not getting where I'm going in life.
Well, yeah.
If you want a good cult, you need to look at the thing that will get us canceled and death threats, which is Scientology.
Oh, no shit.
Where they're like, hey man, you have a lot of money. Would you like to come in here and blackmail yourself?
Well, that's what the Nexium
So we can get
or
more money
Nexium or
in?
whatever it was cult did. Like they started out with some kind of motivational speaker, business, corporate retreat kind of deal. And it just grew and grew and grew. And then eventually the main guy was like, I'm going to start fucking these women. I got the one totally loyal woman. She gets to be the first one. And then they pyramid schemed
Oh, I was
it
about to
down.
ask if this was a slave pyramid cult.
Yeah, they pyramid schemed it down like, you're going to be my slave. I need you to find 5 more slaves. And it gets on down like that. And they had all these weird slaves.
they
Of
got
course,
at the
it's
top.
women
And then-
falling for the
yeah.
pyramid scheme.
And they blackmailed themselves. They were like, I'm not going to tell you what this super secret special club is unless I know that you're not going to tell anybody else. So here's what you do. Give me some pictures with both your face and butthole in them, and I'll hold on to them. I won't show anybody. But if you talk about this, then I'll show people. So that way I know that you're totally dedicated. And they would give their own blackmail material. Like, oh, I hope that never gets out. We shouldn't have fucking gave it to them.
Yeah, that's it.
It's like, is the information worth your butthole in the public eye? If not, then don't.
Public eye.
Is your brown eye in the public eye going to be worth it?
If the public ain't getting pink eye over it, maybe don't do it.
That's a weird cult, the pink eye. That's who they worship. But yeah, back to if we get death threats, I don't give a shit. I mean, do we have any Scientologists listening to us out there?
Hopefully one
Nobody
day.
in this state can afford to be a Scientologist.
That's it. It's like,
So we're good for a while.
talking about fucking pyramid schemes. I mean, that's exactly that. The whole premise of that damn religion is just so confusing to me as to how, I mean, most of the people are wealthy. Therefore, I would assume that they had some sort of fucking brain function at one point or another.
They probably just want the clout, being like, you know, I was able to buy myself this high of a level in the pyramid scheme, so all these other people are going to look up to me, and I need that feedback to make me feel important.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think Scientology is a pyramid scheme as much as it is just a thing where it's like, oh, hey, do you want to... Who is it? The Xenu, the alien guy that's going to come back. It's like, yo, you want to? Are they helping Xenu or trying to keep Xenu away? I don't know.
That's it. I think they're working for Xenu. I could be wrong on that, but I think
you're not a Scientologist.
No. I'm not much of anything, really. And if I
You're
am
just a podcaster.
Yeah, I'm a podcaster, low level podcaster at that. But I got to be honest, we are really getting good at this shit.
Yeah, we've improved. Tell your friends, damn it.
Yeah, anybody who wants to,
the people that listen to this
throw
podcast
out a like
have
and
friends.
a share and like.
They gotta have friends. We don't know.
Hey, if you do have friends, prove it to us. Share it.
I don't believe you. I'll reverse psychology.
If you think it's horrible, share it to your friends and be like, look how horrible this is. Be sure you tell your friends too.
Yeah, we don't even care if they watch the whole episode, just as long as we get those views.
Keep on clicking.
Yeah, damn right. But you know what? We are a very accommodating podcast. Because
Maybe we could start our own cult.
If you would like to join a cult, but you're too afraid of commitment, there's a very easy cult. It's called the subscribe button. You click that and consider yourself in.
If you don't want to kill yourself or be ritually sacrificed or die in a Mexican standoff with the American government, or if you don't want somebody to fuck all your wives, then just follow us.
Yeah, we're a very easy cult to go along with. What?
Were you part of the people that I talked to at work? It was us and that old man that you used to work with and that guy that doesn't fuck goats. Where I was listening to a podcast about cults and I was like, we should have our own cult.
I don't think I was a part of this.
I'll talk to you
having our own
after the
cult.
podcast where we can talk about who I'm talking about. But
Can we call it the cult of Corey and Sean? Since we're all over the
Oh,
place.
great, I'm left out again.
currently,
The cult of Corey
well,
and Sean.
hey,
and
here's the
Shane.
thing. Well, no. I was gonna
I'm
say
the cult's comic relief.
No, I was gonna say, hold on. Well, if you want to be on there, do you have a wife that we can sleep with, and then you can get your name?
I
on
do
the
have a
podcast?
wife. No, you cannot sleep with her.
You know what's funny though is like cults to me, it's where it's nothing but like everybody looks at them in just disdain now. I remember when I was younger watching the Chippendale Rescue Ranger cartoon, Disney, and at one point they had a cult on there. It's like, I can't remember the specifics, but I think it was based on like cola, like sodas, and they were doing the same bullshit these guys do, but it's like you're looking for acceptance in the world, and we have the fucking answers for you. And it's according to the Disney Channel, it was like grape soda or some shit like that. It's like, how is that any fucking different than Jim Jones offering them grape Kool-Aid?
Grape soda's worth dying for.
I don't know. I'm not really big on that.
Purple drink.
Purple drink.
I'd die for my purple drink.
Wouldn't we all? Purple drink. But yeah, I mean, like, that's it. They showed kids that shit back when we were younger, and now it's like, oh my god, these poor people. Motherfucker, we were making a joke out of it back then. Why can't we do that now?
Oh, we can.
Oh, we can. That's for fucking sure. Like, oh yeah, I want to make a cult. I just haven't figured out what I want to base it on yet. What can we base it on besides this podcast?
This is all we got right now.
Oh, okay.
You want to know who was like the greatest cult leader of all time? But he may have took it a little too far.
Who?
Some Austrian guy named Adolf.
That's pretty. Yeah.
People fucking worship that guy. Millions of them.
Whoa, now.
Millions and one of them.
Millions and one. Yeah, that was pretty good. That was a big cult, and
He may
Lexi's
have
power.
he may have made a boo boo there, towards the second half of that.
He might have overstepped his goals. It's like, what's your goals as a cult and a religion? I hate the Jews. Got anything else? I don't like special people or blacks either.
Anything
I
else?
really hate the Jews.
Mostly the Jews.
Fuck France. And you're like, okay, yeah, we can work with that. Okay.
Okay, we found something
I
about
as well hate France.
Like, nobody likes the French.
We'll overlook these other things
Yeah.
for the time being.
Like, for now.
I'll tell you what'll be your best idea though at victory and taking over the world. You should invade Russia in the wintertime.
In the wintertime. Yes.
It's never been done before. They won't expect it.
It's like, nobody thinks the Siberian tundra can be taken over. You can probably do it.
Holy shit, it's cold.
God damn! Who the fuck thought this was a good idea?
What do you mean we don't have any?
I'm starting to think maybe
Cult
we
leader.
shouldn't have followed that Hitler guy.
It's like, I'm thinking he might not have been the greatest military tactician that ever stepped foot in a war room.
Probably not.
You know what? Funnily enough, speaking of that, they were super into cult stuff too. So.
Yes, they were.
Yeah.
They really were.
When he was burning people, I could work with it, but not when he's freezing me.
Like, yes, I don't care what he does to them.
You're like, can we ship some of those people here for us to burn here?
Like,
Give me some warmth.
Gas them, ship them here so we can burn them for warmth.
Hey, boss, it's cold out here. I don't know if this is the best plan.
Send them some of them special Presto logs y'all got. Good God. That's just horrible. We went from, stylizing cults in this country to that. Nobody wants to talk about that, though. Everybody hates Hitler. Except Sean.
Whoa. Argentina, they're okay with him.
Well, yeah, because most of those are, Jewish people that are not Jewish, Nazis.
They were Jewish people expelled from Germany. We're like, whoa, guys, now come on,
Yeah, they were
don't
Nazis
be
that
too
escaped.
hasty.
Nazis that escaped the, hand of, the Allied powers.
They're like, look, we don't have enough space in NASA and the U.S. government for all of you, so some of you have to go to Argentina.
Yeah. Raise your hands. How's the weather down there? If it's fucking cold, I'm not going.
I think it's pretty warm, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. I'm assuming.
All the guys that could afford to escape and be shipped out of the country were not the ones in the cold.
They didn't have to go to the Siberian tundra and fight the Ruskies. Oh, well, you know what? I think we have run our course with this conversation.
Already?
This episode. Yeah. I believe, that's about as much time as we need to spend on this shit. So, got anything else to say, either one of y'all?
Join our cult.
Join the cult.
Do we cold here?